Welcome to Toffee TV. It is player ratings time. Everton 2, Chelsea 0. We've done it. We've actually beaten someone who is good. For the first time this season, last season, well, I think you'd have to go all the way back to, what was it, Man City, the 4-0 win. The last time we actually beat someone who are actually a good football team in the Premier League. So, absolutely fantastic. First half display was utter shite. Second half display was absolutely brilliant. So I'm just literally basing my player ratings on that second half. I can't be arsed going, well, because he was terrible first half, but he was brilliant second. I can't be arsed with it. Let's just pretend it was all about the second half, because it was. At the end of the day, Chelsea had their chance to beat us in the first half. They didn't, so they got what they deserved. Because we rose up and were better than the second half. So let's get into it. Jordan Pigford, I've given Jordan Pigford an 8. I think he made one fantastic save in the first half from Hazard. And then he made another fantastic save second half from Higuain. He was just, coming off the back of last week, he looked a lot more focused. I think at the end of the game, he just clapped the fans and there was nothing else. He'd got over the fact that he had to delete his red PS4 controller tweet. He just did his job really well. As everything he did was just simple. He just simplified everything today. His kicking was a lot better when he had to go long. He just done it. There was no stupid balls going out all over the place. It was quite, he did everything simple and made some really good saves. So that's why I've given him an 8. Seamus Coleman, I've given him an 8 as well. I thought it was possibly his best game of the season. I thought he was excellent up and down that right-hand side. And I think him and Richarlison has got the potential, for the time being anyway, to be a really lively partnership. I think they get each other. I think they get each other's games. I think that's the most important thing. I think because Richarlison doesn't necessarily sit out wide all the time and does like to come inside, I think that helps Seamus. Whereas Theo Walcott, when he plays there, likes to just hug the touchline, and I don't think that helps Seamus Coleman. So I thought he was excellent today. I thought he was defensively and attacking, so I've given him an 8. Luca Dean, I've given a 7. Okay, didn't get as much forward as much, but I think him and Bernard have got the potential, like we've seen last week, of having a really good partnership. I think he stuck to his defensive duties. Okay, first half, got caught out maybe a couple of times, trying to be more, I'm trying to think of the right word, clever, probably trying to be more clever than he needed to be. But simplified it, and I thought, second half, thought he played well. So I've given him a 7. Michael Keenan, I've given a 7.5. Again, first half, a little bit all over the place. Certainly in that little spell where they hit the post and nearly scored a couple of times. But second half, I thought he was on it. I thought him and Yerry Mina dealt with the threats really well. I think he played quite well. Yerry Mina, I've given a 7. Very, very shaky early on, like Bambi on ice. But once he got through that, once he got his second wind, because he was breathing out of his arse after about 15 minutes, I thought what he really helped with was the set pieces. I thought they just couldn't handle them. And I thought on defending set pieces and attacking set pieces really was the difference for us today. He was such a handful that he opened space for other players. And I think that shows on the first goal. Yes, he doesn't head the ball, but I just think they were so aware of him, the trouble he could cause. I think that really helped. And he's a player that, okay, listen, we've seen it the first 20 minutes and so he looked terrible, but I thought once he settled down, certainly in that second half, just looks a lot more of a player. This is a player for me who will need 10, 15 games with a partner, some consistency in the side before you can actually make a judgment on him. So far, all we've seen of him coming in, maybe having a decent game, then having a poor game, or playing in a 3, or he needs to play consistently, whether that be in a 2 with a partner or in a 3, but it has to be long term. How's he going to get used to the game? How's he going to get used to the Premier League? Let's not all write him off straight away. this is a player that's got potential, but we're only going to know that if he plays games and is allowed to settle into the Premier League. Been very unlucky with injuries so far. But from what I can see, is the things that make him, the things that he's good at. I think he's better than any centre-back we've already got. But he's got to be on it all the time. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not writing him off, but I'm saying he's not saying he's the, he's the answer. So we'll wait and see, but definitely a threat. Garner, I've given 9. I thought he was absolutely brilliant again today. I think he's been absolutely brilliant since the transfer window shut. And I think what was noticeable about that little period of play, where they nearly scored a couple of times in the first half, he was injured in their half on the floor for the entire time. So Everton had no protection in front of the back four, and I thought that was obvious there, that we were missing someone, and it was him. I just thought he was brilliant again. The lad's attitude is fantastic. It really is. It's absolutely fantastic. And for me, in these last 3 or 4 games, he really has been the most consistent player. And he did it again today with no fuss. Just gets on with his job. Ultimate professional. He's showing that by the level that he's been playing at since the window shut. So, nothing but credit to the lad. Absolutely nothing but credit to him. He's been brilliant. Gomez, I've given 7. I thought first half he was anonymous, but second half I thought he just rose up a little bit. Started to be physically stronger, started to get into battles with people, and just started to be a little bit more consistent, get on the ball and just play it simple, and then maybe allow other players to come onto it. Whereas in the first half, he just looked to be running between players and not quite getting there. I thought second half he just played a little bit further forward, started getting stuck in, and you could really see the difference. He just looked a little bit leggy first half, but once the whole team pushed forward, I think it really helped them. Gylfi, I've given 7 as well. Say the same for him. First half, nowhere near, massively off the pace. But again, we've seen this. We've seen it at when we played Bournemouth, our last home in, wasn't it? Second half, him in midfield, pushing up and getting in people's faces. It makes such a massive difference for his game. Got a goal as well. Okay, it was an absolutely shy penalty, but he got the rebound, and that's the most important thing. But some of his little touches, the ball to get Walcott in when he had the chance to make it 3-0 was absolutely brilliant. And at times when he plays that high up the pitch, he's so good. It's when he gets bogged down in midfield. But that's on him, and that's on the rest of the team to get higher up the pitch. Because when we get higher up the pitch and Gylfi gets higher up the pitch, he's a better player and we're a better team. But it's that risk that everyone has to take. It's not a risk if you've got the energy to back it up and say, you know what, we're really going to be on the front foot. And that was the difference second half. Every single player was willing to get in and snap at people's heels, so that they never got a chance to settle down and play through us, because there was always someone there. That's the whole point of pressing high up the pitch, to not let the opposition come out. And the only way they are going to come out is maybe by a foul or a throw or a goal kick or whatever, because you've been stopping them from playing. And then when Gylfi does that, he's a completely different player. Richarlison, I've given 9. I thought he was brilliant. I really did on the right-hand side. And there was no sulkiness. There was no attitude. There was, I just want to work hard for my team. And we've seen that with the goal, and we've seen that with winning the penalty. Because what he didn't do today was he didn't throw himself to the ground every 5 minutes. Because if he had, I don't think he would have got the penalty. The penalty was, some might say it's soft, but the lad does tread on his foot. Now, on another day, if he's been throwing himself around, he's not getting that. But today, because he rode tackles, because he wanted it, he got the penalty. And I just thought he was at it. I thought his head was in the right place. And as I said earlier, I think that combination between him and Seamus Coleman, it really works. Because it means that Richarlison isn't tied to that right-hand side. He can come in, he can drop in and let Seamus go past them. And that really helps both players. So I thought Richarlison was excellent today. And I've given him a 9. Bernard on the other side, I've given a 7.5. I thought he tried. I thought it was difficult for him because he was up against Rudiger a lot of the times, and let's be honest, he comes up to about there, which was helpful at one point because he elbowed him in the face, but really just run into his elbow. Little things just didn't quite come off for Bernard today, but his effort and his work rate really, really helped. So I've given him a 7.5. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I've given 8.5. I thought his running today was fantastic. I thought he was tireless in his running. I thought his hold-up play was fantastic. All it needed to cap off his performance was a goal. He really looked like a centre-forward today. And I would just leave him there now to the end of the season. You know, he got his goal last week. The derby the week before looked like he was doing a job today, but really today he brought other players into the game and he never gave them any peace. And they wanted peace because they looked like a side to me that were like, we want to get this one in the first half and then we want to put our slippers on second half. We've had a tough trip to Ukraine and we can't really be bothered with this. And you could see that when we went 2-0. They weren't asked. There's a little bit of football now and again. Hazard doing what he does and Pedro, but they weren't asked. They were like, get us out of here as soon as we can. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin helped that because he was really getting into them up front. And I just thought he was fantastic. I really did. This is what the kid needs to do to prove that he can be a top Premier League striker. All right, maybe not in goals. Maybe his goal return will never be, a Lukaku or whoever. But just being able to play up front to add something. Just to add something to the team so that it brings into your Richarlisons, your Bernards, your Gylfi Sigurdssons, whoever else comes into the side. But his work rate means that he's going to keep that shirt hopefully for the rest of the season, because I think it'd be a massive mistake for the manager if he dropped them. The subs, Snidland, I thought he did really well. I've given him a 7.5. Thought he helped. Should have been the sub last week. I thought it really helped to just go, you know what? And I think that was in that moment in the game, it was just like, yeah, we've got this. He come on, he done his job. Just effective, quietly effective. And that's what you want a sub to do, to just come on and just be quietly effective and just do his job. I thought he really helped today. Woolcott, I've give a 6. I'm not picking on him. He just didn't do anything apart from the one shot. I wasn't sure why Silva put him on the right and put Richarlison on the left. I'd have just left him on the left. As I say, he had one chance. Sigurdsson got him in. It was a difficult angle. He had another one where he was offside, but the run was really good. And he was a little bit more central. I think that's where he should be playing, central, if he does play anywhere. Tom Davey, 7. Run his socks off when he came on. Really pushed on. Didn't give them any time, any room. It was the right sub to make. The manager learning again, the right sub to make, bringing them on. Just shut down that midfield. Because that is the most important place on the pitch. You can shut down that midfield, then you've done your job, and he did that when he came on. So there you have it. They've been my player ratings. I'm really happy. I'm really happy. I will give the manager an 8 as well. Because I thought his subs were really good, and I thought whatever he said to them at half-time really worked. So I'll give him an 8 as well. So fantastic, 3 points. Delighted. We're on to the 40-point mark. We can all now just relax and hope that we see the team give us some confident performances till the end of the season. And hope, and today showed that we do have a decent collection of players. And when they want to work hard and put performances, it's in them. But it's on them to do it now till the rest of the season. So we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what happens. But I'm happy with that today. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what your player ratings are. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching Toffee TV. Make sure to check out all our other videos. I will see you later.